Robin Williams died with a will. His probate took over a year in California. Prince died with no will, and his probate took 6.5 years. It cost $87 million in legal fees.
If you didn't say anything, people can show up out of the woodwork and say, well, Joe promised me this. If you've done nothing, your plan is basically whatever the government in my state says should happen to my assets, and it's never what you want.
Okay, I'm going to get in trouble if I talk too much, but here's the point.
Welcome, everyone, to the Main Street Business Podcast. This is Matt Sorensen, joined by the great and powerful Mark J. Kohler, and we're delighted to be with you today because we have a special message, an important message, probably an intervention for you.
Many of you need to hear this. And great and powerful. What have you been watching? Wizard of Oz? Appreciate that, though.
I mean,
the message,
you are great.
Thank you. Powerful. Okay, the topic today. What is that missing link in your business structure, legal structure, trifecta, as we love to call it, and which illustrates so much the coordinated structure all business owners and, frankly, investors need to have. What is that missing link? Matt, you going to give it away right now?
The missing link is your trust. It's the boring part, but it's the part that brings it all together.
So you've already planted bad mindset right there. You all think this is boring. I thought this was going to be fun.
I'm trying to meet you where you are right now, and I'm going to get you where you need to be.
Okay, all right.
I know you haven't done it because you're like, that sounds boring. I'm not going to die today.
Yeah, I believe in some of you. I know that you've been waiting for this podcast. You know what? Damn it. I've been wanting to do my estate plan. I love this topic. Pray tell, gentlemen, tell me what to do. No,
whatever person you may be,
okay,
we're going to get you there because the fact of the matter is we're going to spend all this time working hard, building wealth, saving, paying off our debt, building a business, an entire retirement portfolio. We're going to do all that work. And then you might pass away. Well, you're going to pass away one day.
We get caught in that one all the time. Might? What did you say, might?
Yeah, we've got a special, that's another special offer for you later. But, okay, we're all going to pass away one day.
Yeah.
And your family's going to be in anguish. They're going to be mourning your loss. The last thing you want to do is leave a disaster behind and zero plan. And we never know when that day is going to come. So, want to talk about how you get that plan in place, how it works, and how it all coordinates with your business entities, your retirement accounts, your real estate portfolio, all of that.
Yeah, and a couple of quick disclaimers, and we're going to give the reasons why this is your missing link. We're going to riff here with you, give you some important reasons you may have not considered, but a couple disclaimers right out of the bat. And what I want you to know is this is a revocable living trust. We're not talking about some weird Delaware trust, offshore trust, constitutional trust, Rockefeller trust, some stupid trust that's going to cost you 5, 10, 15, or 20 grand, which some people will try and sell you. This is your bread and butter, basic estate plan where the trust is coordinated with your will. I had a client call me this week and go, we moved to, where did they go? They moved to Connecticut. They had set up their trust in Texas and they're like, do we have to redo it all? No. It's portable. It's going to go wherever you want to go. And they're like, oh, wow. Now we might update a power of attorney or a living will, pull the plug type document. But the point is your estate plan, once it's done, it can be affordable and it's going to be portable and you can update it very easily in the future and it becomes the foundation of your entire structure.
Yeah. And so when you're thinking about this, I want you to think about your legacy. I want you to be like, this is a time to actually be very thoughtful about all the work you're doing, all the hard work you've already put in, where you're at in your life, and think, all right, what do I want this to look like? What am I building this for? Like, if you're doing a good job at it, you're not gonna be able to spend it all. So, and remember, you've got a life insurance policy proceeds, you've got equity in your home, you've got your retirement accounts, you've got your business, you've got your real estate portfolio, your stock portfolio, all these things you've accumulated during life. And how do I want that legacy to carry on? Well, I'm going to tell you, there is a plan in place already for you. And the government decided what that plan is and who gets it and under what conditions.
Oh, I'd love that. A government plan for me?
Yes, it's going to be great for you. And it's never what you want, but that is the plan. If you've done nothing, your plan is basically whatever the government in my state says should happen to my assets, that's what I want.
In probate court. So we'll go there. Now, okay, so let's do that. Number one reason, Matt was saying, if I may, truncate that into, and we're going to probably unpack it a little bit. Why would you want to do this trust? Why is it important? Why could it be that missing link for you? Is what's your legacy that you want to leave? Are you going to leave a mess? Where do you want all this wealth and what you've been building? Where do you want it to go? I'm going to offer a second point. Screw your family. I know some of you are thinking, I don't care what it looks like. I'm going to be dead. Why in the world would I care about this? I'm going to give you some other choices. I think having a trust gives you a structure to stay more organized. I think it could give you some privacy. I think you want to choose a trust name like Blue Sky Trust or Green Sky this. There can be some privacy strategies that take a little more work if you don't want your name at all on title to real estate. But the trust is a piece of that. And the trust, it can give you privacy. And when you start to get organized with a trust, it's like you're doing this personal audit. You're like, okay, what entities do I? Because I'll tell you right now, you do a trust for about $2 or $3 grand, maybe $4 grand, whatever, max. You're going to set this trust up and you're going to go, what do I fund it with? Oh my gosh, it's going to force you to get freaking organized. So if you don't care about what it looks like when you're dead, there's still some damn good reasons to deal with this now. And I think it will really help you scale and elevate and build a better structure.
Yeah. And remember what Mark mentioned, probate, and that this trust helps you avoid probate, which means when you die, your family's going to have to go to a court in a public process that other people can snoop and look at and see what assets you had and who got what. They can make claims against your estate. Because if you didn't say anything, people can show up out of the woodwork and say, well, Joe promised me this. He said I'd get that. And you didn't have any plan. How the heck's a court going to know? They're going to be judging, is this person's testimony credible? Maybe that kid you wanted to disinherit shows up and they're like, I should get it all. All right. So like this stuff happens. So avoid the public process of it by having the trust done, and also the infighting and the problems that arise, even if, and I've seen this too, intended family members who love each other, who are fighting over assets because they genuinely had a belief of what mom or dad wanted to happen to their estate. But mom or dad never took the time to write it down.
Well, I like that point. I'm going to go with number one, leave a mess or leave a legacy. Number two, get more organized during life. And I'm going to say number three, which we could talk about a little bit more. And we've got some podcasts on privacy, possible more privacy.
Yeah.
But I'd like Matt's here too, is protecting family relationships, if I may say it that. Like, and I'm going to use a farmer as a great example. We've got a ranch out in Utah, and I grew up in the country and lived probably in more rural areas in my life than urban. And I'll tell you, farmers screw this up all the time. Farmers generally hate the government, they hate paying taxes, and they hate lawyers. It's kind of the three golden rules.
Yeah.
For farmers or
It's
ranchers.
it's what they all align on. It's not what they love, it's what they hate.
Yeah, you want to know what they talk about at the diner in the morning over biscuits and gravy? That's what it is. Those three things. They're hate. And then they love basketball. Hoosier basketball. No, anyway. I was watching Hoosiers the other day. I love that. Oh my gosh. So ranchers or farmers, what they'll do is they'll put kids on title to real estate rather than building a trust. So now all of a sudden a kid gets in a lawsuit, kids have problem, they're entitled to your assets. Number two, guess who's going to take care of you when you die? It's not your sons. I hate to tell you. Your boys are going to be working the farm maybe, or that's not their MO. Your daughters are going to be taking care of you if you're blessed with both boys and girl children. Your daughters are going to be the ones to take care of you. But what do these ranchers do? They put their sons on title to all the crap, and then their daughters get left holding the bag, and it's a mess. And even well-intentioned family members are trying to piece this together after grandpa and grandma are gone, and they're like, what? You can't figure this out? Yeah, you could have done a little better planning. And so just that's a quick example of how bad it can get.
Yeah. So we want to
protect family relationships.
We want to protect family relationships. And I think one of the most common clients that actually comes to us to set up an estate plan, and we do over 100 new estate plans every month. Yeah. And one of the most common things I would hear when someone would come and do an estate plan with me, and neither Mark or I do them anymore, but we got a whole team of lawyers helping clients across the country that do estate plans every day. And I remember one of the most common things I would hear is, my parents just passed away and didn't have an estate plan. And I've been dealing with this mess for a year, 2 years. It's been a pain. My family's fighting over it. I'm over it. I'm not going to let this happen to my kids. And now I'm here to get my estate plan done. So don't learn the hard way. Maybe this is a message for your parents. Maybe this is a message
for you. You know, I can't count how many times we've had family members as a Father's Day gift, Mother's Day gift, Christmas gift, say, Mom and Dad, I'm going to pay for your estate plan. Well, we've been meaning, well, you know what? No, I'm paying for it because I'm going to be the one cleaning up this crap when you're gone. It's my gift to you. Okay. And then they get on a Zoom call. We help clients all over the country. And this is something I'm going to just say now, you can maybe go hack out a Wyoming LLC if you think that's what you need to do, or some promoter, influencer sells you a special crypto LLC, whatever the hell they package it as. But when it comes to your estate plan, you got to talk to a lawyer. You got to have someone that knows what the hell they're doing. They've done it before. They're going to draft it for you. It's the unauthorized practice of law for someone to not be a lawyer and try to build your estate plan. And we're on the hook. We carry malpractice insurance. We're not going anywhere. And so we can help clients all over the country. We can get on a call with you, your parents, and do it right.
Your family members after you've passed away. A lot of people hacking this out online by themselves and they put it in a drawer. And they're like, oh, no one knows about this. No one knows what this means. No one knew how to sign this and get this done properly. No one knew to actually put the assets into the trust. And that piece of paper that looked really great that you printed off and you sign and you put in a safe or a drawer somewhere actually is pretty useless. So we want to make sure it's in place, properly done, properly signed, effective in your state, and then you've got to get your assets into it, which we'll talk about in a second.
Okay, now I want to point this out to you, a little factoid. Robin Williams died with a will. Tragic death. If you don't know the story there, I won't tell you that. Spoiler alert, you can go look it up. Prince, Purple Rain, loved him, grew up in the 80s.
Little red Corvette.
Your little red Corvette. Died without even a will. So when he died with a will, that's called testate. He had a will. The court could look at that. It was all public. Everybody got to peek into what Robin Williams' life. It was not terribly ugly because he had a will that kind of said what he wanted, but a court had to approve it. Anybody that wanted to bitch and moan could come to court and talk about it. His probate took over a year in California. Surprise, surprise. And that's kind of typical around the country. You got to get to court. You got to get a lawyer. You got to go to blah, blah, blah. That's if you die with just a will. Prince died with no will, which is called intestate. And his probate took 6.5 years following his death due to all sorts of complications, disputes, the estate value, people making claims. It cost millions of dollars in legal fees. I was trying to find out how much, if I can get, $87 million in legal fees. Now, he had a lot more than 87 million, but we don't want to get into this situation where there's waste again. So for you, number 5 reason, maybe you want to pay for this so you're not paying for it later.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like this is where like you want to talk about an investment that's going to pay off. The thousands you're going to spend now is going to save tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars and mental anguish and pain for your families. Okay. So let's talk about.
Can I say this too on that note? When you go to do the estate plan for your family, this is the hidden benefit too. You're going to say, okay, let's get this done. And then on day 2, okay, we got to get it funded. Where's all those stock certificates, Dad? Where's all that crap on that entity or this or that, the deeds? Because when they're gone, it's a lot harder to find.
Oh my gosh.
And so now you've got the impetus and they've kind of bought in. They went through the process. They kind of get excited at that point. I've done this so many times. They're kind of into it now. So when you go, hey, we got to get this thing funded. Oh my gosh. There's a retirement account sitting over. Your mom pulls out a drawer. I've had my mom do this. Opens her drawer and there's just mail from Merrill Lynch or Fidelity or whatever just piled up in there that hasn't been opened in a year. And so this is a chance to, again, get your hands in this mix and get it organized.
Yeah. All right. So it's an opportunity to get organized and also get an understanding of like, what do we have? And for your parents too, this is like an awesome time. Okay. I do want to get to the mechanics of getting this done.
Okay. All right. So now what? How do we do this?
Okay. here's what you need to do. You're going to take inventory. We have something called an estate planning questionnaire. It's going to ask you questions. What's your estate look like? What do you have? Do you have certain assets you want to give to a specific person? The boat you own with your brother, is your brother just going to get that when you die? Maybe one of your kids is going to get the musical instruments or the guns or whatever, certain personal effects. And then you're probably going to say, everything else is going to go to these kids. I got 3 kids. I got 2 stepdaughters. Mine's a little more complicated. I probably shouldn't have given that example. Let's just say you got 3 kids. All right.
It's hers and ours. I got the same thing. Yeah.
Kind of yours, mine, ours. A little complicated. But so, but you're going to specify who's going to get what. And it can be each of them are going to share in 1/3 after we've given these certain assets up. So now there's a little more levels to this, but that's the first level is what do you have and who's getting it? We're going to talk about conditions. But what do you have and who's getting it?
Yeah, and an important caution here is do not get into analysis paralysis.
Yes.
Because many of you are going to go, I don't know. And it gets emotional and it gets hard. This is where our team, we have 12 lawyers helping clients every day at this. I'm not trying to make this sound like an infomercial, but I'm seriously trying to take away the pain of this process. Our lawyers, you have that initial call with you. Let's just do what we know is easy. Let's get the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
What do you got? Let's do that. Because you can amend it.
Yes.
You can amend it in a year. And I'll tell you, as you go through the process, everything gets clearer. It's kind of like when you start a journey. You may not know what's over the next hill, the next horizon, what's in the next valley. That's fine. You'll figure it out when you get there. So just start the process. You're going to have 2 to 3 calls with the attorney or paralegals as they gather data, get you a draft. Boom. And then it's going to come together. And then you can always edit it later. So I'm going to say step 1, start gathering info. Number 2, make the call. Get that first appointment made, have the conversation, start to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I trust me, it'll get easier.
Yeah. And this is no matter what lawyer you're working with. Okay. This is going to be the process, but we do an inventory, we do an intake. You start making some decisions of who's going to get what. Okay. The next decision you got to make is who am I going to put in charge?
Ooh. We got to go through people. We're going here. I like this. Okay. We got 3 main people. Which one do you want to choose?
Okay. Well, it's generally going to be you during your lifetime here. So I'm in charge. I'm putting my assets on it. So trustee.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
In charge of the stuff. Okay. Then maybe your spouse, if you've got one when you pass away. And then you might pick a third party. Maybe it's a sibling, one of your best friends, a business partner. This could be one of your kids. That could be an heir.
Matt, nicer for some.
Yes. Yes. So
I like 3. It's either 1 or 3. And then you got to have some backups because you don't want to put 2 people in charge. No. Problem, deadlock.
I like just putting 1 in charge for myself, but that's what most clients will do. But you could put a committee in there, so to speak. Yeah. But that's recipe for disaster, in my opinion.
Okay, so that's number 1. Start thinking about who your trustee is going to be.
Yep.
Think of them as the money person. Now I'm going to, for those of you that have kids under age 18, you got to think of the guardian role. Now, the biological dad or mom, if you're divorced, is going to have first call on that. You can't put incentives to say, let the kids stay with another situation. But the rule is generally, if you pass away, the biological mom or dad is going to be the guardian. But what happens if both of you pass away? Well, you're single mom, single dad, and there's no sign of whoever or wherever, and they don't want the kids. You need to be thinking about the backup guardians. And can I just say, do not choose your mom. Your mom is already in her 40s, 50s, 60s, or older. She does not want to be a mom again. She's a grandma. Let her be a grandma. Choose people that are like you. This is your godparent. That's another term for it. Who's going to raise your kids most like you? And it does not have to be family. Let family visit.
Yeah, I think one of the most common is one of your siblings, especially if you're close to them and you like the way that they parent. Your kids would know them. There's a close family connection. There might be cousins. They're going to be more.
Trust your siblings?
I do. That's who has been listed for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was listed.
Not as guardian. Hell no.
I'm sitting right here.
Trustee.
Okay.
Trustee.
I'm okay with the trustee.
Trustee.
Okay, yeah. I can handle the money, not the kids.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. No, not a
you
good
don't want
trustee.
that?
No, I know. I was just trying to be valued.
I'm protecting you.
I wanted you to.
You just want to be. You just want
to be special.
You just want to be offered it. You just don't want to accept it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry, man. I can't do that for you. But thank you. Yes. I appreciate that. All right. Okay. So guardian. I love it. Third. This is fun. This is the party planner. This is what I call the party planner.
Oh, what did you ever? The executor.
Executor.
Oh,
It's called executor. Did I misspell that? I was trying to give you a hint here, right? Executor. This is the party planner. They can be terrible with money. They can be terrible with your kids, but they're going to go through your underwear drawer. They're going to throw a kick-ass funeral. They're going to be the person that's like, brings everybody together. Funeral potatoes, love those. And they're going to be helping dish out all the little things. They're going to be going through the house. They're going to be helping the trustee. They are a trustee helper. They've got to be listed. They're going to be in your will as an executor. And again, they're local. I like guardians that are local. They can rush to the funeral home. They can do this. They can do, and it's a job you can help someone feel important.
Yeah.
Even though they really don't have a lot of authority. What do you call it? They're kind of the lame duck trustee.
Yeah, they kind of are. They don't have much power, but they've got
A role.
Yeah, they got a role. They got something to do, because what in your will, because you're still going to have a will. And a lot of people are like, well, Matt, if I have a trust, why do I need a will? Well, your will is still there. You designate your guardian in the will, but also kind of this like default that says, hey, if I didn't put assets in my trust, I want everything basically to go to my trust. So if my executor has to get involved here, they're in charge, but they can also execute on your funeral arrangements. And that's one thing that you can actually put in your estate plan is if you have ideas on this, I want to be cremated, I want a military funeral, I want a certain church service. You can easily state that quickly. You don't have to get complicated. You don't have to pick the hymns that are being sung or like who's invited and who's not. I mean, you can, but just like at least say whether you want to be buried or cremated. Do you have a plot or not? Do you want military or church type service? You know that right now. Think of what you want. But I'll say one thing just funny. That's why I brought up executors. I do remember I met with this client who was dealing with issues. Her parents had passed away, and she came and she said, I'm the executor. I was just like, oh, okay.
That's nice. That's good. That's good. Okay, now I'm gonna add another twist here too, because this is where it gets, for lack of a better word, I'm sorry, fun, because you have all the planning opportunities in the world. This is you're God. You get to write the law here. And then a trustee, after you're gone, has to carry it out. And so it can be cool. So I'm going to throw out the Britney Spears provision. I was on the Free Britney bandwagon. I felt she needed. So for those that don't know, her dad and her husband were appointed her custodian, which is conservator. Sorry. Yeah. Which is kind of like it's a financial guardian. That California has very aggressive laws in this area. Watch the movie, the Netflix on the Beach Boys story. That is crazy. But this conservatorship is very hard to get out of. And so Brittany was stuck in this where they were managing her money. Come to find out, it probably was not the worst thing. It's so sad seeing some of her posts on social media, and I love Brittany's music and all that. Okay, I'm going to get in trouble if I talk too much. But here's the point. You may have children that are over age 18 that could act like they're under age 18 financially. And so this is a chance to say, okay, they can get money in stages. And I want a trustee for this particular child. This child has special needs. I want a special carve out for this special needs child. And so you can put in all these sorts of like bells and whistles that are particular to you. And it's very common. And our lawyers know how to do it. This is not something you hack out on a form at Staples or Office Max. It's not going to happen. You can't have Grok do this for you. So when you start to have these additional planning needs, because you have children that have a little extra need financial supervision, you can do it.
Yeah, and they might have creditor issues. They might just be great people and have great, relationship with you, and it's not a mental capacity thing like it was for Brittany.
Or terrible spouse.
Yeah, or they have a spouse that's got a spending problem and judgments against them or whatever. Well, you're going to have a creditor protection clause in there, a spendthrift clause that says, hey, if this family member, if a creditor is just going to seize their inheritance, hold it in the trust until they can resolve those. Maybe they got a drug or alcohol addiction. Hey, trustee, don't distribute them any money. If you know that they've got a drug or alcohol addiction, they've got to go to rehab and get that resolved before they can get any distributions from the trust. So in many ways, you're protecting your family from the wealth. And sometimes some of you can have kids that the wealth can hurt them.
Yeah.
It's not going to help them. It's going to cause more problems. And so the trustee is the one carrying out these wishes. And a lot of these things are going to be in our trust documents to help you. And we have these suggestions of just the common things we know people want. And maybe your kids are amazing. They're never going to have creditors. They're never going to have a drug or alcohol addiction issue. And that's great. but it's there just in case.
Yeah, I put that down as number 6, protect beneficiaries from themselves.
And also, what happens if you pass away in their 20? Yeah. Can they handle a windfall of all this money? What would you have done when you're 20 or 19 or 18? Good Lord.
Oh, can we go there? That'd be so fun. I can tell some stories.
Yeah.
I tried to live that life.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we can keep go on and on. This is the beauty of this topic, is it really is empowering. It will help you get organized. It can provide all these other benefits and more. The last thing I want to just say is, what does it look like? When you're done, you're going to get a sexy, cool binder. Looks like a corporate book. It's going to have your trust, will, power of attorneys for finances, power of attorney for healthcare, pull the plug if I'm vegetable. Oh, special funeral instructions, special instructions for this or that. And it's a cool binder that you can put additional special documents in. So a marriage certificate, a deed, a insurance policy. And then you put it in a fireproof safe. Spend the $80 down at Target or Walmart and get a little fireproof safe. And put this in there. Let your trustee know about it. Let them know they've
Give them a copy, maybe.
Yeah, I like that. And there's more. I mean, we talk about this all the time. We got great articles and other podcasts on this. But I just want to encourage all of you, take action. I think 50% of Americans don't even have a will. That means we're at this trust structure. We're maybe 20, 30% of Americans that need one don't even have one. And you don't have to be rich.
Yeah.
A little bit of real estate, some kids, life insurance, a 401k. You need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Last thing I'll say is there's another important document that's very important during your lifetime. And I know this because I watched the show The Pit. You watched that?
Pit?
The Pit. It won all these awards.
No, I know The Pit.
Okay, The Pit. It's an ER show. And maybe you watched ER back in the day.
I know The Pit. Okay, keep going. I remember
so
this.
The Pit. I swear, every other episode, there's like, this person's got a DNR or not. Okay, do not resuscitate. And that's if you are in a vegetative state. Do you want life-sustaining support or not? And there's so many episodes in there where you see the family members in the ER. The parent has a DNR. They're like, they've been in a senior living facility, which requires you to have one on file, whether you want life-sustaining support or not.
Isn't this The Pit? It started based out of Chicago, where they had like the trauma unit where it's Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's Pittsburgh.
But The Pit signifies that highest level of trauma unit. That
it's a trauma. Yeah.
That's like
yes.
Not good.
It's chaos. But it's a very interesting, great show if you haven't watched it. But the point here is this stuff happens when you go to a hospital, when you go into surgery. I've had to do this for myself and even my wife. Do you have a living will or an advance directive that says, if there's complications in this surgery, are we resuscitating you or not? And we've had to deal with clients over the years that have been in that situation where there is no DNR. There's no do not resuscitate. There's been no decision. And now that's left on you as a kid to make that decision to pull the plug or not.
No,
so it's very difficult. So that's one of the things that gets done in addition to some of these financial power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney. So when your parents are older, or you're older and you're thinking about your kids helping you, if you have a mental issue or a disability where you can't make decisions for you, they can step in. They can help with take over the bank account and your financial affairs and make sure everything's in place. Because a lot of times you're going to have a stage of that before they pass away. So a lot of these documents will help you during your lifetime too, and these later years. And then of course they take over and they control and they make sure that all the stuff you've been doing to build a legacy, to keep your family close, can continue on with harmony.
Well, you point me to be your DNR person. I'll decide to pull the plug or not.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to, because I'll make the decision.
Well, if you're like, you're not sure, I could help.
What's the point of the DNR?
I could be like, to pull the plug. It could be like, when you're a kid, you're like, you get the vacuum cord from about 30 feet away, you wrap it around your hands.
The DNR is the person that gets to pull the cord out. I elect Mark to actually pull the cord.
I couldn't do that. That's what you get your ex-spouse for, people. You appoint them to pull the plug. They'll rush right over. I mean, they'll like beeline it over,
We're joking here. That's not what it actually is.
See, we can have, fun with that. All right. Well, wow. Fun topic today. You all are dead. Hope that worked out for you. Okay. All right.
But hey, you got an estate plan?
Yeah.
So
you're covered.
So you're dead, but you had an estate plan.
Yeah. So you're up in heaven loving it. Now, in our description, first line, it's right there. Click on it, make an appointment, get it going. You're going to love it. You can. I have infrastructurally, I had the same plan for almost 20, 30 years as a lawyer, and updated a couple times. This will last you a super long time. Wonderful investment. If you have a business, I'm going to integrate a business continuation plan. I'm writing this off as a tax write-off. I mean, this needs to be done for your business. There's a good chunk of it should be written off as a business expense as you integrate your business into this. So, thanks everybody for listening. A lot of fun. We're gonna see you next week. For another episode of the Main Street Business Podcast. Please give us 5-star, 2 thumbs up, 10 out of 10, whatever. Share it with your friends. Subscribe. All those goodies. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.